What's up guys, and before I start off this video, I just want to say right here and right now, if you guys hear thundering and raining going on outside, we're in the middle of a tornado warning, but you know me, I'm a savage. This tornado can come pick me up, I'll still be right here recording this video for y'all. So I just want to say it as a disclaimer if you guys hear any thundering or anything, but I gotta get this video out because I am really excited to make this video for you guys. But out of the way, let's get into the video.
We pull up with sticks and hella chop.
Rockstar Games have done it, man. I never thought that I'd be sitting here in a while praising Rockstar for the amazing job they did with this DLC, man, but I gotta tell you, I am beyond impressed with this DLC that they dropped. And with that, I gotta give Rockstar the credit where credit is due, like I always do with anything else, and I gotta say it right here and now, this DLC, the GTA 5 Los Santos Tuners update, is a hit, no miss, all smashes, no passes. And as a surprise that might be with the amount of times that they screwed up past previous DLCs, and adding in the fact that last DLC, the Cayo Perico heist, where I made a video on it and said to impress me, and they didn't even do that, but they brought the heat this time around, because if I'm being honest with you, I feel like those jokes that I was making about them milking GTA and not making a new Midnight Club game, they might have taken that personally, because of like, I think that this was a real reminder to us and the rest of the community that they are the makers of Midnight Club, and they dropped a Midnight Club themed DLC. That's what I've pretty much been calling it the past 24 hours right now, the Midnight Club update. Rockstar really said, we're sick and tired of the community complaining, so here you go. Here's a Midnight Club themed DLC to remind you guys that we may or may not be working on Midnight Club, but just to remind you guys that we're still the makers of Midnight Club. I'm like a big ass kid in a big ass candy store with the amount of content that they dropped in this DLC, and I don't know where to begin, but I'm just gonna start off like I normally do. As soon as I saw that A90 Super Mark V and that Mazda RX-7 sliding around that corner in the LS Tuners DLC trailer, I knew that this DLC was going to be straight heat. Now starting off with the cars, now I gotta tell you, I was really happy with the selection of cars that they brought in this DLC. They didn't bring no Hellcat wide-body Charger or no Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk or a Hellcat Durango, but still these are cars that I have been begging to have in this game for a while now, and that at least marks off at least half the cars off my wish list right now. And getting into the prices for the vehicles, they're actually kind of fairly priced. I expected all these cars to be around $3 million a piece, with how obvious at the fact that the inflation's going on in the GTA economy, but really they're fairly priced at around like $1 million or $2 million per piece per vehicle, and that's before upgrades. But I had well over 13 million for this DLC. I'm now left with only 5 million, so I sold a bunch of cars and I got that money back so I can have enough for when the drip feed vehicles come. And so far my favorite vehicles out of this DLC has to be the Jinka Jester RR, which is the Super Mach 5, the Mazda RX-7, which is the ZR350, and the Urus, which is modeled after the Nissan 370Z. I almost said S there for a second, but so far those are my favorite vehicles. But out of all of them, the Super Mach 5, the Jester RR, has to be my favorite out of the whole entire thing, for the races, just for the overall looks and customization and everything else. Now I haven't got a chance to look at all the vehicles or buy all the vehicles, but I'm still planning on getting the new 911 Porsche that they added, and also the S13 that they got as the prize vehicle. Now as for the story, you actually go to the LS car meet and you actually get a cutscene, and now right here you guys see like a couple of characters actually returning here, and obviously the fact that our mechanic Benny and also Hal from story mode is making a return in this DLC, or has a cameo in this DLC. And that's what I actually like the most about this, is that they're bringing back returning characters that would have already been great additions to online, and if they would have made this DLC sooner, that's what I like the most about it. But here we are, we're actually introduced to a new character named Mimi, and she pretty much gives us the lowdown on the LS car meet, saying that we park all of our weaponized vehicles and our attitudes at the door, and we go in here and have a good time, and a good time only. So which means y'all KD griefers and y'all cargo griefers and Oppressor Mark II griefers, you park your fucking broomsticks at that fucking door and you come in here on some good shit, or we're gonna kick you to the curb. And also in this cutscene returning to the DLC is Moody Man, and Moody Man in a new character, I forgot her name already, provides sort of like a B plot to the whole entire DLC in and of itself, and I'm gonna cover that later in this video. But for now, I want to talk about the main thing that I love the most about this DLC. the new and improved pursuit and street races. Oh my goddy Christ, on a bicycle, the pursuits and the street races in this DLC, man. I gotta tell you, man, this was primarily the reason why I didn't get my video out on day one like everybody else did, because I was losing about like 5 to 8 hours of my life just straight up doing these races back to back to back with how much fun I was having in these pursuit and street races. Now, if you guys didn't know, they added new and improved street races in a brand new pursuit race series to the game, and I'm going to talk about the pursuit races first because the street races is pretty much like the regular races except with a new skin. But let's talk about the pursuit races. Now, the pursuit races, well, it's a pursuit race. It's a point-to-point race just like a regular race, and all you have to do is just race from point A to point B. But not only that, it's going to be open city racing. And open city racing, if you play Midnight Club or Need for Speed, you guys know what open city racing means. You can race this race however you want, as long as you hit the checkpoints and get to the finish line first. And not only are you allowed to do that, but you're also gonna have the cops closing in on you and trying to arrest you and try to stop you from getting first place in the race, just like in Midnight Club and Need for Speed Heat. And the pursuits can range anywhere from 1 to 5 stars as long as the host puts the limit on the amount of stars that can be put in the race. And I gotta say, just on 3 stars alone, it gets chaotic. And dude, I know that I'm geeking. I know it sounds like that I'm geeking right now over this DLC, but I admit it, this DLC was the most amount of fun, and I had the most amount of nostalgia, and I went on a nostalgia trip this whole entire DLC with the amount of fun that I was having. I was recording this DLC for about 5 to 6 hours straight, and just 3 hours or maybe 4 hours of it was just me doing the pursuit and street races alone. And yes, I know the payouts is not that good, but pretty much like I'm not even concerned about the payouts because of the amount of fun that I'm having, because if it's not fun, why bother? And for the most part, everybody races clean in this game. Well, I say for the most part because of the amount of times that people deliberately ram you off the road to try and gain one place ahead of you but still end up in last place like they always do because they cheat. But I'm just finally glad that we can finally avoid that 10-car multi-car pileup at the very 5 seconds of the very race start most of the time, with the amount of times that we can be able to make up our own route on the fly to get to the next checkpoint. And another thing that I wanted to mention in this DLC is the amount of customization that we have for all the vehicles that they drop, from the Supra A90 to the S2000 to the Mazda RX-7 to the 370Z, and even the brand new Mustangs, Porsches, and everything else that is to come. There is a lot of customization to make your car unique in this DLC. And you guys know me, customization for me, especially in racing games, is everything to me. And not only that, there is also 2 brand new features that I forgot to mention at the very beginning of this video with the amount of fun it sounds like that I'm having throughout this DLC recording that I'm making for you guys. And that is 2 things. One, they brought stancing into the game where you can pull up the interaction menu and you can lower your vehicle from the push of a button. And not only that, they also brought low grip tires to the LS Car Meet, and it's only exclusive to the LS Car Meet. You can't bring it inside your own personal workshop in your 60 car garage in your Maze Bank Tower, or you can't go to Los Santos Customs to equip it. You actually have to go to the LS Car Meet, get the membership, and apply the tires there. And the low grip tires, well, it says exactly what it's supposed to be. They're low grip tires, which means they're essentially drift tires. Now, I already plan on making a whole in-depth guide on the low grip tires and a drift guide for you guys after this video gets pumped out. But for the meantime, I'm actually going to give a quick briefing on what the low grip tires actually do. Now, once you have them equipped, your car becomes 10 times more slidey than what it actually is, and if you lower your car or stance your car, it becomes even more slidey. It takes a while to get down packed in this DLC, but once you find your rhythm and find the right amount of counter steer and balance between the throttle, you're going to be golden. And finally, this was something that the community has been asking for, including myself, and I'm finally glad that Rockstar Games is listening to the community and bringing some things that we have been begging for years. Now, it's sort of a shame that we can't equip these tires on any normal vehicles outside the tuner vehicles that we received in this DLC, which means like cars like the Drift Yosemite and the Drift Tampa, we can't equip these tires, and it's a missed opportunity. But I think that they can do it like later in the future. I think that they just have to test it with certain vehicles, but I think that they might or may not be able to do it in the future, but really I think it would have been a great opportunity to apply these tires to any vehicle that you want. And now finally getting into the B plot of this whole entire DLC. Now Moody Man, like I said before, and a new character by the name of Santa actually pulls up to the LS car meet and pretty much gives you like a sort of like introduction to like the side activities that you can do, or I would say miniature heists that you can be able to do working with them. And the first thing you need to do is actually get an auto shop. Now to my surprise, the auto shops is actually fairly priced, and the minimum that I actually chose was the $1.7 million one that was right down the street from the LS Customs that's south of the city. And really that's the best location for everybody because my arcade as well as the LS car meet is on that same road and on that same stretch of road. So meaning that you can go to the LS car meet, make a quick pit stop towards the arcade, or go to your arcade garage and make a pit stop at the auto shop that you just bought. Now getting into the B plot, Moody Man and Santa actually gives you an opportunity to make some extra money on the side. Now like I said, they're miniature heists. They're not heists, but they're miniature heists, which pretty much means that you're pretty much going to be able to do this solo or up to 4 people if you want to. But before you actually get into the heist in and of itself, you actually have to get back Santos' car that they impounded. Now it's pretty much just like the import-export DLC missions where you have to get the car out of the impound lot. Now my suggestion to you, because this mission is actually kind of tough, is get out a stone hatchet if you found it and kill a couple cops so you can be invincible, and then drive right out of there without a problem, go underground and lose the cops. Once you do that, you'll actually have direct access to the amount of contracts and the miniature heists that you'll be able to pull off. Now in this gameplay in and of itself, I was only able to do the bank robberies, which is the fleecer jobs, just on steroids because of the amount of fleecers that you can be able to rob throughout the city and throughout the map. Now there's also a lot of other contracts. Now I can't cover all of them here in this video, so I may do a separate video, but by the time I do that, most of your favorite YouTubers have already done that, so I may just leave that job to them and let them do the best guides. But wrapping up, you can pretty much do this solo and pretty much make your own money if you want to. Now it's only going to be like 100 to 200k, but hey, that's more money that you can be able to make on the side when you're waiting for your Cayo Perico or Diamond Casino heist cooldown to go away. Also, one more thing that I forgot to mention. Now Santa and Moody Man actually tells you that you're actually running a legitimate business with the auto shop, which means NPCs and customers will be able to drop off their cars to you, and pretty much you can customize them to their specifications, and either you can deliver them yourself or you can have your hired mechanics to drop them off for you. Now even though the payouts most of the time is like $60,000 or it can be $70,000 at times plus the delivery, you can also customize them and throw in a bunch of free items, add-on items that they didn't even ask for, and that may or may not increase the payout, which means if they like what you put on their vehicle without them asking, like they will actually throw in a bonus, which means you can make more money on the side. And now wrapping up this video, I gotta tell you right now, and I said it before and I'll say it again for those in the back, I really love this DLC, man. Rockstar Games, they really got it down packed this time around, and they really surprised the hell out of me, dude. Everything for the most part is perfect throughout this DLC, and I have no complaints whatsoever. And that's surprising to a lot of people because people around the community has like pretty much labeled me as like a complainer and like a Rockstar Games hater pretty much. But really, I wouldn't complain if they drop DLCs like this every now and again, or most of the time, and not cater to the KD warriors and these stupid ass griefers that's running around in this damn game. Now there's still quite a few bugs, and there's like a couple bugs that I've ran into throughout this DLC, but by the time I get this video out, you guys already either experienced it yourself or YouTubers have already talked about it and what needs to be fixed. But by the time that already happens, like it's probably may or may not be fixed, I don't know. Rockstar has its reputation for not fixing game-breaking bugs on time, but still there's still a couple workarounds, so that's good. Now I completely lost interest, but up until this DLC, they completely wrote me back in with the amount of content they brought in, and with the fact that Script Hook V and everything else has to update in order for my mods to run correctly on PC, and until I get my modded account set up so I can either get all my stuff back on PS4 or I can just transfer it over some way somehow. I'm gonna have to research it because they turn character transfers off. Like overall, I love this DLC, and I'm gonna be playing it on PS4 for a good solid week or two, and a few hours of my life is gonna be gone. So Rockstar Games, keep up the good job, man. Keep Keep up the good job. Drop more DLCs like this because the community, it 100% agrees this is one of the best updates that we gotten in a while. But let me know what you guys think about this DLC down in the comments down below. I really want to know what you guys got to say about this because I got to tell you, overall my score, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. They knocked it out of the park this time around. So let me know what you guys think about this DLC down in the comments down below. I want to hear what you guys got to say. Anyways, this is your boy Gwop. Make sure you guys like, subscribe if you're new. It is still thundering and raining outside, and I'm out, bruh.
Where's our partner at?
I don't know. We should make ourselves at home, baby. Shit. Come here, girl. You need to take all this shit off.
You a bad motherfucker.
Nah, you a bad motherfucker. Give me that. Bring that ass over here. Shit, got me all stiff. You motherfuckers been there the whole time?
Oh, shit, you here.
We'll finish this a little later, baby.